Hi guys, this is Iceberg. Following their previous success with full-size headphones, Kiwi Ears teamed up with their reviewer Zeos to create something outstanding in their first collaboration. So today I'm reviewing their collaborative full-size headphones, and it's Kiwi Ears Z Reviews Serene. For under $160, we get closed-back planar headphones that promise a new approach to sound quality, and planar drivers in headphones are always something intriguing, hinting at premium sound, but in modern form. Well, without further ado, let's take a closer look at them. Let's go! And before we begin, I wanna say a huge thank to the Kiwi Ears team for providing Serene for this review. These guys are always ahead with their new innovation, and if you haven't ordered from them yet, it's time to fix that, and you'll find all the purchase link in the description below the video. But now, let's jump into the review. Alright, the Serene comes in a massive box with the usual Kiwi Ears design. Here we can see a yellow and purple gradient with an image of the headphones, the model, and the Zeos and Kiwi Ears logos. On the side there is a brief specs sheet, and on the back we can find information about the manufacturer and brief story about the headphones creation, which you can read by pausing the video. Inside the box we can see the headphones themselves, then a braided 3.5 cable with dual 3.5mm plugs, and a small manual. Okay, let's take a quick look at the cable, because it's finally been upgraded. This is a braided 3.5 cable with Zeos and Kiwi Ears logos on the splitter and RL indicators on the ends of the dual connections. To the touch, it's flexible and light like many IM cables, but creates a microphonic effect when music is not playing. Overall, I'm pretty sure this is high impedance cable, and if you want to swap it out, the headphones might play it quieter, and you know that planar headphones like the juice. So let's talk about them. Well, as I said, the Serene is closed-back headphones with an array of small drivers arranged in a sequence as shown in the photo. Yeah guys, this construction looks a little unreliable, and in some samples there is a slight driver flex and driver crunching when walking, which I also found in my headphones. However, Zeos released a video on how to quickly fix this, so I don't think you'll have any problems with it. The video link you can find in the pop-up tips or description. Regarding design, the Kiwi Ears did a really solid work here. The headphones themselves are pretty compact, lightweight, with a sleek and understated design for the street, subway or work. The headband frame is made of steel and covered with a soft leather with logos on it, and the size is adjustable to fit any head. The ear cups rotate at 125 degrees, and the ear pads are made of soft memory foam covered in a leather with side markings inside. In terms of fit and comfort, Serene are really among the best in their lineup, on a par with Ardor and Altrua. They fit well on my small head, where my ears are completely sinking into the thick ear pads, creating a tight seal and excellent isolation. They don't cause discomfort or pressure while wearing them, and thanks to their lightness, you won't even feel them on your head. But they do have a small drawback for active people, such as driver flex and crankling, so watch out. Okay guys, I think I covered everything about their design and fit, and now it's time to move on to the sound, but first I quickly tell you that this set allows power and plays very quiet stretch from your phone or PC, so at least a portable deck is must-have addition to the Serene. I use my standard Fosi K7, Kenru 3 and Ru 6, Fio K11 and Qderis 5K, and I like the first three options the most. So now, let's take a quick look at the graph that Zeos prepared for us. Well, we can see here that the curves on the Serene graph do not match each other, which shows a channel mismatch, but I bet you won't hear in real listening unless you're a dolphin. Okay, jokes aside. At the start of the graph, we can see an emphasized rise in the mid-bass relative to the sub and mid-range, which indicates a powerful and knowing planar controlled response. The mid-range overall is raised region in the Serene, with a natural rise to the upper mids, hinting at the clear presence of vocals and instruments. In the treble region, we can see a dip around 6k Hz, which cuts down sibilance, and a peak at 8k Hz for sparkle and air in the highs. Then after 12k Hz, the graph drops off, leaving us without aftersounds. While in reality the Serene sounds like a good pair of planar headphones, but with the feeling that someone turned up the bass. Yeah, the first thing you notice here is a deep and wide soundstage with more than enough space for vocals and instruments, and visualization painting a landscape that makes you catch every note with your eyes. However, these are not analytical headphones in the usual sense. They are designed more for immersions, for the emotional impressions of the slam, and for enjoying the stage. In tonality, I wouldn't say that this warm or cold sound, but somewhere between, accurately conveying details of vocals and the textures of the instruments. Because of the close design, there is some mid-bass reverberations, which adds more impact, making it more bloated, and I would like to get rid of that. All in all, it's a really friendly and thoughtful tuning with unusual full-size planar bass, but if these reviewers bother you, it can be equalized. And now, let's talk about their sound in detail, starting with the bass. Speaking of bass, it's more mid-bass centric here and won't satisfy sub-bass lovers. I mean, the sub-bass is there and you can feel it, but it's not that deep and punchy, but rather faster and thinner, like it was cut off at the beginning. For the most people, this is normal and even pleasant, but for sub-bass fanatics, I would hold back. The mid-bass in the Serene is simply sex in audio form. It's dense, elastic, incredibly textured, and at the same time perfectly planar controlled and fast. The sub-bass is tuned to plus 10 decibels related to the Harman, and you can really feel it in every kick. But I wouldn't call it basshead bass, but rather just bassy, yet surprisingly powerful for planar. It may seem slightly bloated and chambered to some, but this is easily corrected with an equalized by lowering the 2 to 50 Hz range. Also, due to the closed back design, there is some rustling and reverberation at the edge of the mid-bass, which is little tiring, but this is only noticeable at high volume. But what is really pleasing, it's a dense texture and lighting fast transitions of the mid-bass, from a slight rumble to the monstrous roar, and it does it fantastically and quite fast. And this is highly valued in a planar driver. Overall, if you are fond of rock, funk, hip-hop or electronic music, then the Serene's bass is for you, but not for fans of the sub-bass abyss. However, the mid-range feels a little subdued related to the bass, but it sounds musical, slightly warm, yet detailed. Vocals and solo instruments don't come to the front, like they do with many bright headphones, but sit in the middle, surrounded by the bass and its reverbs. And you know, it's damn nice. It's like you're in an audio studio with the band in the front of you and lots of subwoofer around, and it all sounds in unison where everything is perfectly balanced and nothing protrudes forward. In terms of tonal balance, the mid-range is warm, but not tube-like in a classical sense. It's more organic and natural. There is no cold analysis here, but rather a light musical sweetness that makes even average recording enjoyable, and even better recordings with poor mastering are forgiven by Serene, smoothing out the rough edges and leaving only the music. In terms of resolution, everything here is very decent, but without fanaticism, and you won't be sitting here just picking out every micro detail of the vocalist, and the instruments don't blend into the mash even in complex tracks, but everything you need for emotions is there. And most importantly, the Serene mid-range is not tiring. Like, absolutely not. I listened for hours straight and never wanted to take them off, no brain eating, no fatigue from the upper mid-range, and it's just comfy. If you love rock, hip-hop, or even jazz and live performance, where vocals and instruments strike a chord, then Serene will do it better than most headphones under $500. Period. The treble in Serene is not bright or shiny when everything is hissing and cutting, but it's gentle, smooth, velvety, and sparkling, leaving only a slight tingling sensation. The treble here is slightly muted relative to the ideal neutrality, but that's exactly what makes them comfy, without sibilance, and not tiring at all. There is of course a little bit of air and extension here, and if you're used to open back planar or electrostatic headphones, this treble will seem dark for you. But for closed back headphones, this is very decent. There is a feeling of space above the head, just not infinite, and it's just kinda fatigue-free treble. That's everyone dreams about, but rarely gets. The soundstage in the Serene is phenomenal, and that's exactly what we love in planar headphones. It's spacious and deep, but not so wide and high, without that feeling of airiness that you can get with open back headphones. Just picture a cozy round sphere with lots of speakers around you at the distance of about 10 meters, and that's exactly how Serene soundstage feels. And the separation with imaging, is excellent in the Serene. Thanks to the spacious soundstage, you hear every pause between notes as completely silence, and the sounds are located in their place, can be caught or focused on. And the transitions are the most tasteful thing about the Serene. They are smooth but lightning fast from quiet passages to loud explosions, and it'll happen seamlessly without any sharp jumps. I don't think it makes any sense to compare the soundstage with planar REMs, because even the 7Hz Diablo, which I reviewed previously, had a more modest stage. Well, in conclusion, the Kiwi Ears Serene with Zeos tuning is an unusual but wonderful headphones and a successful first collaboration for Kiwi Ears. Congratulations guys, you done that again what other brands were afraid to do. If you like planar headphones but want to try something unique with closed back design, then welcome to the Serene. They will give you an unforgettable experience. These headphones are lightweight and comfy for hours of listening, but can be a bit warm or small for larger heads. In terms of sound, we get a truly atypical and monstrous bass, a musical and warm mid-range that makes a sound lively, slightly sparking but fatigue-free treble, and a panoramic soundstage with fast transitions, and all of these in closed-back planar headphones. Just imagine that. If you're ready that the Serene aren't easy to drive, but are lucky enough to get a unit without rider flags or crackling, then consider yourself as a life winner. However, listen to them at a high gain but medium volume to avoid the bass fluffs I mentioned earlier. And if you're looking for the most musical, emotional, fatigue-free planars under $200, then close your eyes and take them. I'm serious. During the entire test, I've never wanted to take them off and trying something else. Okay, thanks to the Kiwi Ears and you guys for watching. You are amazing. Hit a like if you enjoyed the video, or dislike, it helps me anyway. And subscribe to the channel, because most of you are watching without subscribing, and that really makes me sad. I'll see you in the next video. Listen to the PLANARS, because they are worth it. Take care and bye bye.